My name is Yuri. I've been working in Luxoft for 2 years, and I'm from Ukraine. And today I will tell you how to find the projects that you will love. So I know it's late, you want to sleep, but there is a reason why you are here, and please concentrate on it. So, yeah, it's me, the guy from the right side. I'm already 11 years in IT, and yeah, you can see my contacts. This is, by the way, in Wrocław, very nice city. Okay, so I told you that I will tell you how to find the project you love, but what I will not tell you is how to write CV. I will not tell you how to pass the interview. And on the top of that, you know, you all are adult person, and I need to tell you that, you know, you have your own thoughts, your own mind, and you are responsible for actions you do. So what I will suggest you actually might be a reason for your rejection on the interview. So you should think whether to apply it or not. It's up to you, and you're responsible for this. Okay? Okay, good. I see feedback. Thanks. So, first of all, let me explain you the problem. Is it work? Yeah, cool. So, this is information about tenure for different companies. What tenure means, it's how much time one person works on one position in company. So, as you can see that in Amazon, it's about 1 year. In Google, it's 1 year and about 1 month. Yeah? And what is median? Why it's better than average? Who knows? Sorry? Yeah, exactly. Thanks. That's for you. So, yeah, you're right. So if you have 5 persons that works in one company for a year and 1 person that works for 10 years, average will be like 16 divided by 6. So you will have about 2.5 years average. But in reality, it's 1 year, like 5 years, people work for 1 year. Yep. So, as you can see, people change their position very often, even in great companies. So, why so often? And I can say that I know only 2 reasons why people change the project. They don't like something on current project. It might be whatever, I don't know, maybe maintenance, maybe manager, client, old technologies, I don't know, salary. You know it better. And second reason is you like something, but it's outside of your project. Yeah, maybe you know a leader that works on another project. Maybe you want to learn some technologies, whatever, and you know that another team works on it. And, you know, when I told about this to one HR that I know, she answered that, Yuri, it's wrong. Every time a developer comes to me and say that he wants to change the project, and I ask him, okay, so what do you want? And he answers, I don't know, I just want something else. And it's often the case. Okay. And I believe that it happens only because nobody teaches us how to choose the project. Really, like at school, at university, we were learning some technical stuff, not even soft skills, but here, how to choose a job, a project. And it's not discussed anywhere. I'm surprised, actually. So, yeah, and sometimes it looks like, interview looks like this, you know. Everything is nice in an interview, yeah, but, you know, when you join the project, it's not so great. Sometimes it happens. So, how to avoid this? And what to do? Yeah, so actually, what to do? Any ideas? research. Oh, cool. Yeah, the last prize for today. Thanks a lot. So, let me start from use case on technical interview. Actually, I conducted more than 100 technical interviews, and I see all the time the same picture. I asked everything I wanted. I said thank you. Candidate also said thank you. He came to work, to home or whatever, and that's it. What is wrong in this situation? No questions, exactly. Like, come on guys, really? You want to change your project to any project? Like your current project is so bad that any other project will be better than current? I don't believe it. And so now it's your time to interviewer on the interview. So like about statistic, I can say that about half of candidates doesn't ask any questions. Even if I ask them, do you have any questions? No. Okay, 30% of candidates asked questions like, okay, do you use Spring or Hibernate or Oracle? Is it a good question? Well, it depends, but from my perspective as for senior developer, it's not, because yeah, we use, on my current project we have both Spring, Hibernate, Oracle, Sybase, whatever, but you will not learn those technologies on my project because we are concentrated on business, and like you will sometime copy bin configuration for Spring, like once in a month, and that's it. It will not help you to understand the framework. And only about 20% of candidates asks open-ended question. Tell me about culture, working culture in your company. Or tell me about the project. But always, often answer is, I'm not interviewing you for my project. I can tell you about my project, but I know that it's definitely for another project, and most people give up. Well, I hope that they will ask later, or they will ask HR, so could I speak with people, with my future team or not? I hope they do, but I'm not very optimistic about it. So, I can compare that actually changing a job is very similar to making change in legacy code. It's exactly the same. You can actually edit and pray that it will work, or cover with tests and modify. I don't know other ways. And actually it's a quote from a great book, Working Effectively with Legacy Code. And you can actually take patterns from this book and apply it on changing Java. Like actually, we're all smart, we know about a lot of patterns, and we use it only for software development, but we can apply them outside. For soft skills, for communication, they're very similar. Sometimes we can just use them. Okay, so what to test and how to test? My suggestion will be that you can write a test that describes what you want to achieve or what you want to avoid. It depends on your motivation, whether you want something or you don't want something. And check whether your project passes this test or fails. And the project that you want to join, whether it passes or fails. As simple as it. Or you can write user story. Like, as a software developer, I want to work, I don't know, in Amazon, in XSpace, in Oracle, I don't know, in USA, near ocean, or whatever, with experts. I don't know, you know it. You will write this. I know, I believe that you always think, okay, those customers, they always write user story and always change it. They don't know what they want, so you can try, actually. So, two approaches that I know, tests or user story. Okay, but I didn't answer your question, so what to ask, yeah? And you remember those questions those stupid questions from HR, like how do you see yourself in 5 years, or why do you change a job? And it appears that actually most of those questions are pretty clever. They show big picture. And HR cannot ask you about technologies. They check something else. And what is more funny is that you can use most of HR questions and ask them during interview, to interview interviewer. And like you heard, what was the hardest task on the project? Yeah? This is how you will identify what you will work on. Yep. What would you like to change in the project? It was funny, actually. I asked this question one project manager, and his answer was a few people. It's not what I expected to hear. Sometimes, if you don't have enough trust, you can rephrase it to like what you like or dislike on the project. Yeah, actually, usually, I hope to hear something here, because sometimes I hear like everything is perfect. I don't believe them. Is it a new team? Like, I'm showing you a list. It's my own opinion. It's a list that I created for myself, but I hope that you will also create a list for yourself and will use it on each interview and update it after interview. Because like this one was very painful for me. I never thought about it. I was always joining a team that already knows the product, that knows the business, they already have something like processes and so on. And when you join completely new team, you go through all those phases like forming, storming, norming, performing, and it's painful because nobody knows project, no processes. And you know, if something goes wrong, it's your fault actually, because yeah, nobody knows how to do releases. Nobody knows the projects and so on. Ooh, terrible, actually. What else? Oh yeah, describe your common working day. Again, it will tell you what you will work on each day, not what technologies you use. We have all the technologies on my project, but you better know what. No, I will not talk about my project. How do you gather requirements? Also important. You will know, maybe you have business analysts in your team. Maybe here you will hear whether requirements are changed often or not. How do you get them? Maybe it's already written in Confluence. Maybe you should call and spend half of the day to communicate all the requirements. And who does this? Maybe just one team lead, maybe each team member. And describe release process. How much time it takes, actually? Is it one click, or it takes a week to prepare everything and release? Because you will do it. Do you have homemade framework? My favorite. Just if you hear, yes, run away. And yeah, and the last one can be technical, like describe your project ecosystem, what source control you use, build server, build tool, and so on. What about PM? Actually, when I started this presentation, I created a speech and sent it to my PM for review. He said that it's a nice presentation, but not enough questions to PM, so I added a few. So, one of them is describe your team. One also key points, you know, you cannot ask questions, like you can ask question like, do you have cool team or do you like the team? But you know, in this case, interviewer exactly knows what you expect to hear, yeah? And sometimes I can't say that he will lie, but he will tell you not the whole truth, right? But they had conflict a week ago or whatever. And if team is really cool, you will hear it on each stage, on interview with developer, interview with PM, talking with HR. Everybody will tell you that it's cool team. And if you hear it on each stage, it must be true. And yeah, such simple question can actually answer a lot. Yeah, will I be the only senior that will lead everything? Or maybe there are a lot of experts and can learn something from them? Nice. What is rotation rate in your team? It's a problem a little bit because many PMs they don't know it. But you can rephrase it, like what is size of your team, what was size of the team a year ago, and so on. Any plans for the future, like will team grow or not? Which is maybe also interesting for you. Maybe you have a big plan, you want to lead 10 developers, 20 developers, and it's a small team to support product for 3 person and nobody going to develop it. Okay, how do you invest into your developers? Do you have trainings? Do you buy tickets for conferences? And how often, of course, because sometimes they have, but it's like when I was on one interview and asked about tickets for conferences, answer was, yes, we have. How often? Well, developer receives 1 ticket per 1.5 years. Okay. Do you conduct one-to-one meetings with developer? Come on, you're a manager. You have key person that actually lead everything. You know, if he leaves the project, it will be a problem. Do you talk with him, or you just expect that he's mature, he should cover everything? Yeah, he can, but maybe he will leave it. Okay, and what will be my role? Yeah, of course, I'm senior developer. I know technology, but do you expect me to work with technology only, or do you want me to mentor somebody? Do you want me to, I don't know, change some practices, improve something in the team? What would you like to change? Actually, and those last 2 are the same as for developers. What would you like to change in the project, and what do you like and dislike? Okay. I can call them open-ended questions, or questions that show big picture. There are also a list of specific questions, details that you can create for yourself, but I actually found a page, a startup called No Fluff Jobs, and they have everything on one page. I was surprised at like how much you can learn from one page. And this is example of one open position in one company. So we can see where it is, salary, company size, like holidays, travel involved, and so on. And some stuff like what work methodology, I hope you see it. Like, do you use build, what build service do you use? Do you have unit tests, code reviews, pair programming, and so on? Do you have one-to-one meetings? How much time you spend for each activity, like for developing new features, for maintenance, for client support? Nice. And it's like there are much more, and it's just one page. As easy as it. So you can even compare companies. Great. They have one problem, they don't have a lot of open vacancies on this site, because I believe many companies are not ready to answer such questions, because they will not look very good. Okay, and a few tips. How much time do you still have? 15 minutes, cool. So, a few tips. You know, usually when people search for a job, they open sites like PROIDEA, yeah, and so on. And I wonder that almost nobody heard about such website. So when you type Krakow IT, it's almost the first link. and you have a list of more than 300 companies. So it's not only open vacancies, you can see a list of companies. They are grouped by size, and you also can see in which domain they work. Is it investment bank? Is it outsourced? Maybe game development? So you know what to choose. Maybe they don't have open vacancies, but you can call them and ask, right? If it's job of your dream. And another site, I'm not sure, I asked many people and they don't know about it, called Glassdoor. So you can see there a lot of stuff, like a review of company, feedback, salaries, what is average salary, because you go and they ask you, okay, how much you want to be paid, and actually you can see what is average salary currently in Krakow in IT for senior developers. You can see even interview questions, some of them. Okay, and now why you can be rejected? Because of asking questions that I told you. Let me tell you about 2 cases. We don't work with money-motivated people. That was the answer for one company. You know, I actually passed a lot of interviews. Sometimes I do it like once per 2 years, I just go outside and pass a lot of interviews. It doesn't mean that I changed the company. I was working in previous company for 9 years. In current, I have been working for 2 years. And you know, sometimes you pass interview, they say, yeah, you are senior, we will pay you such amount of money. And it's lower than you currently earn. And you think, yeah, you're senior? They answer, yeah, you are senior, but we pay such amount for our seniors. Well, okay, but you already wasted 4 hours for all the interviews, or maybe more, plus preparation. And you can spend this time with your family or just resting, I don't know, drinking beer, whatever. So, like, after 5 interviews, you don't want to repeat this mistake, and you start with the letter, okay, thanks for your invite for interview, but is it possible to earn such amount of money in your company? And the answer can be, we don't work with people motivated by money. Which is funny, because other companies, some companies, real good companies, they start from this. They say, okay, we are ready to pay such amount. It can be range, but still, they also want to save their time. So it depends. If this is your dream company, maybe you shouldn't ask such questions. Another, you ask what you will learn on the project, but you don't tell us what value will you bring to our project. It's also case with me. So, you know, I wanted to change the project, and I didn't like, because I didn't like something on current project. Yeah, for example, I had a case when in a month and a half, I had pair programming with one person, and we delivered exactly 1 line of code to production. And of course, like, it's not what I expect. Like, coding is not main activity, but if I deliver 1 line of code in a month and a half, it's not what I expect. And of course, I will ask people, like, how much time you spent on coding? How much time you spent on other stuff, like, I don't know, answering to business question, explaining them how their product works. And, you know, such question can be treated differently, like in this case. Like, I understand those guys, they maybe had bad cases in past. Maybe a few guys left them because they want code more. But still, you know, like, I also did, it's assumption. I also had such filters. So for example, on interview, I ask question, and if candidate, like, ask questions that candidate cannot answer, he doesn't know answer, but he need to think, yeah, and try to answer something. And sometimes people just reply, no, I don't know, without even trying. And for me, it's a minus. It's almost definitely I will reject this candidate. Yeah, because on my experience, I knew 2 persons that actually it was very hard to work with them because they don't know what to do, and they will sit and do nothing. Oh, just quit. But it's my assumption. Maybe with this guy it will be another case. So I understand why I was rejected. So what you can do with this? Actually, today in the morning, I found new article about this, and such questions should be asked after you received job offer. So, because if you start from the very beginning, like how much you will pay me and what I will learn on it, your employee thinks that, well, if we start from this, maybe it's like he can treat it this way, negative way. For me, it's good that candidate asks questions. It means that he is interested in company. Yep. He's not interested only in money or whatever. He asks questions. It's great. But I would say that you should ask it maybe after job offer. And summary. So, I don't know what to ask HRs, first of all. I would just pass the filters. Don't ask them tricky questions, I would say. I don't have a list of questions for HRs. At the beginning of technical interview, you can notify interviewers that you will need 10 or 15 minutes for your questions, so that he reserves this time. I saw a lot of interviews where I didn't have time to ask questions. I say, well, but I want to ask, and answer was, oh, our procedure doesn't have time for your question. Okay. So prepare interviewer and create list of questions that will explain big picture and some questions that will provide you details, because often people cannot give feedback. So when you ask them what is working culture in your company, they will answer everything is okay. And in this case, you should ask details, what is okay. Yep. The same for PM, repeat those steps. And with client, I wouldn't ask a lot of question or tricky question. I would just ask about business, product, and that's it. So, many thanks for your time. I hope it was useful. I hope you will use it, and I hope after you ask question, it will change the attitude of interviewers to your question, and it will be okay to ask questions, and so on. So, thank a lot again, and any questions?